What is up? Welcome to Crunch Time. It's a late slate. It's a three-game slate. It's a two-man booth. And Meansy, you know what that means?
I do.
It means it's officially the quiet storm.
And can't be throwing extra words in there like that. It ruins it.
You're right. It did. It kind of ruined the tempo of it all. More importantly, means this is a longer show. We have an extra 15 minutes to kick it. We have 50. Rob says we have 15 minutes per game. It's true.
Oh, is that what we're doing? That's the schedule tonight. Huh? We're doing 15 minutes per game. Okay.
Really, when you break it down like that, it seems like entirely too long. But we're going to give the people some good info, and by we, I mostly mean you. I'm not going to do a whole lot of that.
I mean, I'm going to try. Welcome to everyone who's free and watching. Hope you guys enjoy what you see and stick around for some premium stuff for the rest of the season and beyond. So. You want me to kick it off, Roth? You want to do some small talk? What do you want to do?
I mean, that was what I was supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to give the advice, and I'm supposed to do the, hey, welcome to everyone who's free. We hope you stick around. So now you've taken my job. Now I'm just totally thrown on the loop here.
Well, I also want to be welcoming.
That's true.
So,
you're a welcoming guy. I think we get into it. We're going to have time to go on tangents and rants.
Sure.
Topics open for debate. Coronavirus. I'm really into it. I'm really into it. Not in a good way. I'm just like, I had a baby shower. We can discuss. I have the absolute definite best way to do a baby shower. So I'm happy to share that with the people. But mostly we should probably talk basketball. I think that's
fair. That's fair. I think that's a good idea. Why don't we do that? Because if you are on Twitter a lot and see some people freaking out about coronavirus, wait till you hang out with the Roth pre-show and just see all the stuff it's doom and gloom for Mr. Roth here. So
I went out. I did the I did the grocery store run in just the middle. It's like the zombie apocalypse in there. It's crazy. The aisles are empty. There's like a lone can of beans like rolling through the aisle.
I shouldn't have even opened that can of worms for you.
You're right.
All right.
Let's go. Hey, I mean, you don't have to rush. We're good. But yes, I think we do some FanDuel Cash. For those who are new, we do FanDuel Cash. We do FanDuel GPP. We do DK Cash. We do DK GPP. Then we take all your questions. So hang out the whole time. We're going to be doing stuff. The whole means let's kick it off with some FanDuel Cash.
All right. So I have so let's just really quickly recap news because that's going to be a kind of an important topic for this slate. Bledsoe, obviously Giannis was out. We knew that going into the day. Then Bledsoe got listed as doubtful, and George Hill got ruled out. So that's, I mean, obviously two important guys and a rotation player being out too. So that's going to impact things. We have Marc Gasol out and Fred VanVleet out for the Raptors. So that's going to impact things. So what we thought was going to be a somewhat quiet news day turned into a not quiet news day for 3 games. So let's keep that in mind as we go through these. So on FanDuel, I have Middleton and DiVincenzo tagged at shooting guard. I have Siakam at small forward, and I have Ibaka at power forward. So point guard, almost certainly you're going to be spinning up on trade tonight. Like if you look at, we have 7,000 per roster spot here remaining on FanDuel. And if you look at the salary of the guys, like it's Jokic at 9.7. Is he viable at center? Sure. Trey at 9.6. Collins at 8.6, who we'll talk about. And then, like, basically, it's below 8K. Like, and then even past that, there's not even that many guys in the 7s. And then we're just really talking about, like, guys that are pretty much mid-tier tops. So, and he's a good play anyways. He's 9.6, which is, anytime he's below 10K on either side, I'm going to have interest. And Charlotte, yeah, they play slow, but they're not that great defensively, although they've been a little better lately. So it's just Young is just easy to fit, and point guard is, I would say, probably besides small forward, which is why I have Siakam tagged, is probably the worst position on the slate. So I'll go Trae Young is probably who I'm starting with, and then I am landing pretty much on. I want to get Rozier, which is weird to say because he's just kind of a fragile commodity, but it's against Atlanta. So, and he's below 6K. So Monk's still out. Bacon they called up, but he's not playing. So he's going to be an option, but you might not need that much salary relief. So, like, I've found myself landing on Jamal Murray for this other spot. I've even found myself landing on Kyle Lowry for this other spot. So it's between those 3 guys to pair with Trae Young. Shooting guard, I have 2 guys tagged, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. I think that's what you do. I guess I will say there's still another good option at shooting guard. That's Norman Powell, who's 5'5". But with the Milwaukee situation, I just think you'd for sure doing Middleton. And then I think pretty clearly DiVincenzo is the next best, but Powell would be the next guy. And we'll probably talk a little bit more about that as we go look through some ownership stuff for tournaments. But yeah, that's pretty clear pairing for me for a shooting guard. Small forward, Siakam, similar to what I said about Trae Young, just you got to spend. And he's an even better play than when I wrote about him this morning because I assumed VanVleet would be out, but Gasol being out, even though he hasn't played as many minutes this year and his rates are down this year, he's still a key part of the rotation. So it's a little bit of a bump. Even every little bit helps, but this is mainly a positional thing. Like there's just not much here, and you have the salary, so you play him. And man, I'm going to just pull up our projections here on the share screen. When you're talking about this small forward too, it is just talk about filling it out last, man.
Yeah.
Like there's this group here of these guys in the 5s. Bridges, not so much Utah Bogdanovich, but he's okay. Barton, OG, like you're almost certainly landing on one of those guys as your last spot. I guess the other one would maybe be like if you sort by per dollar, we like Ingles and Hunter. I want to land on. I'm landing on Barton or Bridges for the most part, and I guess OG's right there. Like we're gonna get questions of who I prefer here, guys. Like I don't. I prefer you don't ask. That is what I prefer because I don't want to give you the wrong answer here, and I just really don't know. A lot of what I've been landing on is Barton. He's been playing pretty well lately, and he's cheap. And like I'm going to play, a few cash games and maybe throw it into like a single entry or two. And that's kind of landing me on this Murray-Barton pairing as my last PG and my last small forward. And that kind of just builds in a little correlation to the game since I've thrown it in some tournaments. Obviously not something I usually do for cash games, but just something I thought I'd point out. So then power forward, Ibaka is my preferred option. We have him at 30 minutes. And if you look at this was yesterday when they played the Kings, and this was when Gasol played, and he played almost 36 minutes, as you see here. So second night of a back-to-back, are they going to run him out close to that? I would think not, but it's good to know that like they will do it if they need to. Like that was with Gasol active and playing. So we're obviously not anticipating that because we got him at 30, but man, that's good to know he has room up, which is probably going to be more important for cash game talk on DK because you got to play 2 on FanDuel, and he's 5'7", and I think he's about that or 5'9" on DK, so just comparatively speaking, a little more expensive. So, and then same thing here on at power forward as I talked about at small forward and point guard is Collins. Like you have the ability to spend on these guys, and he is clearly the best other option if you sort by RG value here. He's the next best option here at power forward for me. So that's kind of my pairing. And honestly, like the way this slate shapes up, I don't even think you need to consider anybody else. I guess the other one would be like one of these cheap Bucks guys, Marvin or Ersan, or maybe like PJ Washington. But I think you do Collins, Ibaka, and then center is pretty much 2 guys for me. And it's not Jokic because I've been talking about all these other guys where we can spend up. And that's, I guess, you can spend up on Jokic. But all these other guys I'm talking about is under the assumption I'm going cheap at center. And that is based on the fact that you got Barolo at 5'1" or Cody Zeller at 4'3". I'm looking at one of those 2 guys most likely. If not those 2 guys, I think you spend up for Jokic. You can make a case to go down to Gobert, but I think it's cheap at center for me tonight.
Okay, good stuff. Means we got to talk GPPs. We've got the FanDuel single entry contest going on. And by the way, one of our Crunch Time users took that down. So shout out to, was it somebody with a Y? It wasn't the Iceman. It wasn't
Yol Kicks, maybe?
Yol Kicks. It was Yol Kicks. I think that was it. Yeah. So shout out to them for taking that down. But it's still ongoing. So we got to help people with FanDuel GPPs as well. So how are we doing this if the slate seems so straightforward? How are we getting away from these obviously good plays?
And for everyone wondering that, I don't know if that's filled yet. It's a $25 entry point for that single entry series. I think that's the new one this week. So yeah, like I just pulled up JSU's plays just to see what he's doing. And like the very first one is the Jokic one. So it's so hard to gauge like ownership on these 3-game slates because the number I'm used to seeing is like extrapolate that out to, 9-game slates or the big ones we're talking about. It's so hard to, especially on FanDuel where everything's loose. But I think like if I'm sorting just overall projected ownership, so yeah, here you go. So all those guys I just mentioned when we were going through all those positions, I mentioned Trae Young at point guard, I mentioned Siakam at small forward, I mentioned Collins at power forward. Those are the 3 of the 4 highest owned guys, and obviously Middleton's the next one. And then it drops off a cliff. So I think Jokic is the way to be different because I think that's how the natural construction is going to go. Mm-hmm. So I think going with him will be a little different. And even like Dev and I were just spitballing before you hopped in the room, Roth, but it's like the decision is like if you go Jokic, what are you doing bringing it back with Milwaukee? Because if Jokic does have a ceiling game, does that mean they just like absolutely trounce Milwaukee? Maybe you don't bring it back with like a Middleton. Maybe you get away from that because like the owner's just 70. We got 4 guys on this slate on FanDuel that are plus 70%. It's a 3-game slate, obviously, but yeah, I think Jokic is your first differentiating point. I think Siakam getting away. I mean, I obviously haven't tagged. I hate saying stuff like this, but like getting away from a guy like Siakam, and maybe like if you go double mid-tier at small forward, maybe that allows you a build where you can pay up for all these guys or fade the Middleton or something like that. So that's a way to be different. Then obviously shooting guard in general, I think is going to be one way. I would not fade DiVincenzo at 14%. I would keep him there, but man, yeah, Middleton at 75. I think, and if someone in chat maybe could like double check this for me, I'm pretty sure this is 6 game and 9 nights for the Bucks. That's a lot. And then your end of that is in Denver at, as Mr. Weatherman Kevin Roth could tell us, that is at some extreme elevation, and that's going to burn the lungs a little bit. So, I think there's a routes to that game going a little wonky. And actually, I got. Are
we talking sharp side? That's what I was hoping to bring up. Nice.
I got Denver at 3.5 this morning, and I think it's moved up to like 5.5 or 6. So I just went ahead and locked that after the Bledsoe news.
It seems like it, even at 5.5 or 6, that still seems pretty good, right?
In Denver, yeah, you would think, yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Can I throw one more out? Since most people didn't get it at 3.5?
No, I don't know if we're gonna have time. Means I don't think we should.
We haven't even technically started yet, right?
Yeah, I know. Go for it. What else do you have?
I like the Joker rebounds over 9.5. I think obviously no Giannis is going to help, but I mean your boy Brolo, his goal is just to box out Jokic, but still I think Joker can get over 10.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, so I like Joker at 9.5. That was the other one I liked as far as props go. So.
By the way, if you guys, and I guess probably the people who are with us all the time on Crunch Time, they know about the streak. They know about Sharp Side. If you don't, if you're one of the freebies watching and you haven't heard, it's an app. It's free. You download the Sharp Side app. And then as you place these bets, and I think it's got to be like minus 140 odds or better, as you get a streak going here, once you get 6 wins, you start getting FanDuel money for every single bet you win. And it's all free. You don't pay anything. They start paying you. It's fun. Like it is fun. Yeah. It's one of my favorite apps that I have on my phone. It's just like every morning I wake up and I'm like, ooh, what am I?
It's obviously a little different than like going on an actual thing and like throwing down however much money you want. But it's like, I feel like I'm winning if I just bet for fun and then get free money. It's like, I feel like I'm winning.
Yeah, I like it. So go ahead, go check that out. Means with that said, we have done FanDuel. We've talked about the single entry series. We've talked about, cash, GPPs. We've talked sharp side. I think we got to talk some DK here.
Yeah. All right. So DK is actually a little bit less straightforward of a build in my opinion. Cause like I have these 2 guys tagged. I think those are the obvious ones, but from there, it's not that easy. So like I just in general, some guys I'm looking at, I kind of want to just let you know, like who I'm looking at is like the next guys I'm putting in, even though I'm not like tagging them and think they're absolute must plays. These are some guys I'm looking at, like 2 of them at center are Brolo and Serge Ibaka. Like I mentioned, let's just, for example, let's just take Serge up to 32. Like, let's see what that does. Just overall RG value, take him up to 32 minutes now. And he's suddenly the second best value on the slate. So, at 30, he should be fine. And at 32, he's even better. So like that's a guy I like. And I mentioned Brolo. I mean, there is some concern to go too crazy here with the Bucks, and especially when people are going to be asking about like really cheap guys. Like we have like Connaughton and like Wes Matthews and stuff. And I don't know, man. There's the high spend ups tonight aren't that great for me to be wanting to jam in 3-1 guys. So just get that out of the way right now. I'm trying to think. And then like there's some other guys who you're gonna have to spend at some point because Middleton 7.5, but that's or 7.6. That's not exactly breaking the bank. So you're probably looking at like a Jokic to build around, which I'm fine with. Probably prefer him over Trae Young, who's $800 more. Working down, you have like Donovan Mitchell, you have Devontae Graham. Those guys are some guys I'm seeing as ways to spend some of our money here. So
okay, I feel like we were all over the place, so let's go position by position.
Oh yeah, I know. I just wanted this so people because I only got 2 guys tagged. Yeah. So point guard, I mentioned a handful of those guys. Graham is just point guard eligible. Donovan Mitchell is point guard, shooting guard. Jordan Clarkson was someone I was looking at a little earlier in the day, but now I don't think we really need to do that, like especially with DiVincenzo opening this up. And then in the mid-tier, Conley at 5'3" is an option for cash games for sure. Those are the main group of guys I'm looking at. Shooting guard, you have DiVincenzo here if you want it, shooting guard. One guy I didn't mention at point guard is Rozier, who's 6'6", point guard, shooting guard. More of a last piece for me than someone I'm going to be looking to jam in. The reason like I like Mitchell, and I guess and going back to like Graham, who's just point guard eligible, and Conley for that matter, is I like using. See if I can fix this just so it gives a little better interpretation. I like putting DiVincenzo in a shooting guard and using one of those 3 guys at the point guard slot because it's actually not that great of a position, the guards in general. So I'm going to go to small forward where Middleton is just small forward eligible, so he's a good plug in there, obviously. And then you got to find someone for the forward slot, and man, it is freaking gross. Miles Bridges, maybe. Utah Bogdanovich, maybe. Norman Powell, 6'8". There's just no way I can do that. Like Cody Martin seems a little thin for my liking. So let's go to power forward and see if we like something a little better there because Bridges would probably be the only guy I'd be considering here for this forward slot. You do have now we obviously got confirmation on the Hornets situation, which we were monitoring to see how they're going to go there. It is Zeller starting and Biyombo is the backup for the immediate future. I think Rick Bonnell said 5 to 7 games. So Zeller's an option now at 4.9. Let's see. Millsap at 4.6 is an option here. As far as spend ups here, there's no like Pascal's 8.7, Collins is 9K. I don't envision myself getting to those guys on DK just because Jokic is what $500 more than Collins. Like give me Jokic there. So yeah, that's about it for the forwards in general. Don't think there's anybody I'm overlooking here. Maybe like PJ Washington, but I slightly prefer at least Miles Bridges for the dollar. It's maybe a little bit more of a toss up there for raw points. I still probably lean Bridges just a little bit. And then center, yeah, I mentioned Jokic. I mentioned the 2 guys off the top, Ibaka and Brolo, and one other guy you might land on is like Rudy Gobert, but those 4 guys are strictly center eligible, so you can only play 2 of them. So like I envision going to Jokic with one, and then the other one being Brolo or Ibaka. So like that right there is going to take up 2 of these other. What do we got? 2 of the other 6 spots. So that's going to be kind of a key decision that I think.
Okay. Any GPP takes here similar to FanDuel, or is there a game that you're interested in stacking here that you think might go lower owned and cross your fingers for OT type thing?
I mean, I think it's the first one, which is weird to say, but it's like the Hawks and the Hornets. This is one game that doesn't have any injury stuff going on, so there's not like a value opening up late that's going to make people play them more. The Hornets obviously get a huge pace bump and matchup boost considering how bad Atlanta is. So, and also these guys are, besides like Collins and Young, like the Hornets side is cheap. Like you can stack that a little easier if you get this. Like let's look at sorry JSU to untag your face there, but I'm gonna click on the Hornets here. And like if you look at all these guys past the Rozier Grahams, everyone else below 6K. If you pick out these right, the Martin twins or Zeller or Jalen McDaniels in like bigger tournaments. Like if you get the right guys there that stack with Trae Young and Collins, you can put together a pretty good roster. And then you look at the projected ownership in general, and you're taking out 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 highest owned guys on the slate are not in that game. So maybe you do one if you don't want to get it, like Graham's the 5th. So if you want to do one of those without Graham and go Rozier, I probably wouldn't want to play both those guys together, Rozier and Graham. So I don't know. I think that's the way. Like you got this Milwaukee chalk. Jokic is going to be popular because of how much closer he is in price compared to these other guys. So yeah, I think the game stack would be the first one.
Okay.
And then take your screenshots of you winning everything and post them. That's
the move. That I've still never done that, but I'm definitely going to game stack the first game and then do the whole screenshot thing. And then I'm gonna yell one time. All right, let's see. We've talked some any more DK GPPs you want to go through here? We have just an incredible amount.
Yeah, we got some time. So let me look at just like position by position and ownership here. It looks like just looking at Lowry there, I want to go look at Siakam because it looks like these guys are – I'm just going to filter on by Toronto. It looks like these guys are – since they're so expensive minus Ibaka, they're so expensive compared to like FanDuel. Like Lowry at 14, Siakam at 18, Powell at 15. Like their prices are so much higher on DK compared to FanDuel. Like the ownership is going to match that. Mm-hmm. If you look at defensive numbers from Utah since they acquired Clarkson – it's helped them immensely offensively. Their defense is, and I'm not saying like he's the reason, like he doesn't play like enough minutes for it to really matter, but maybe it's like a change in strategy or approach. But they've been way worse since they got him, giving up a lot of points. So like it's one of those things where the reputation kind of doesn't tell the whole story. Like everyone is still afraid to play players against them, especially when you're not getting discounts. Especially last year, we'd get the Utah Jazz discount. Like no matter what the player did before, they would drop like $500 because no one ever plays people against them. But that shouldn't exactly be the case this year, and especially not on a 3-game slate. So,
okay, good stuff. Questions?
I don't have any. Do you have questions?
The people have questions.
Let's answer them.
All right.
Where are you taking questions from?
I was in, of course, the Discord chat. If you're not in Discord hanging out in the Crunch Time chat, you're doing it wrong. So go ahead, jump in that. I don't know, maybe I'll peek over at YouTube if we run out of questions because we got 20 minutes. So
I have one more guy I want to talk about center because I kind of gloss over center as like the cash game guys I like, but I want to talk about a few more there if that's all right.
Yeah.
Just because I think yeah, like these 4 guys are going to be popular. Like everyone from working our way up, Brolo 24%, Rudy 27%, Ibaka 31%, Jokic 40%. So like, I think this is a way to be a little different too. Like hammering like the Deadmans at 4-1, getting the right cheap guy like Zeller at 13 and starting. Like they're weird, man. Like they've been doing this stuff with the rotation and like in some of his starts. I want to peek at his minutes in some of these because I know like they've been creeping up in some, but they won't close them in others, and he'll play like 20 or 21. So it's like a little bit annoying. But if you catch that game where he plays 28, so like let's put Zeller up to 28. Like we have him at 21. So like, and I think that's right. Like 21, 22 is probably where I'd be because they're just weird on what they go. But man, if you put him at 28, let's see where he pops up as far as RG value, and he's the second best. So like, doing stuff like that just in general, not even for tonight, but just doing stuff like that in general, especially when you're doing tournament builds, like these are essentially medium projection minutes. But if you are doing tournament builds, you want to run it. It's like if best case scenario, what happens like best case scenario is, I don't know, 28 or 30 out of Zeller. So run your stuff like that. But I think what I was getting at is center in general is going to be a place where this ownership congregates on all these guys. And all these guys are, I don't know, expensive to somewhat expensive. Barlow's 5'1", and it's not too much more than Zeller. But if you go find the cheap center here, and then that makes you pay up for the Lowrys of the slate or the Siakams of the slate, the guys we talked about, and then you fade Jokic at 40%. I think that's the way to be a little bit different at center because man, a lot not only will people go a lot of double center, and even if they don't, I think it's just going to be a ton of ownership on those 4 guys.
Right. And it's great to be able to do something different without having to give up Middleton or DiVincenzo or a play that you think is the best play on the slate.
Yeah, it's like we had that conversation with JSU, like the determining good chalk and bad chalk. If you think Middleton is good chalk tonight, eat the chalk and be different somewhere else. And I think being different somewhere else is maybe going away from Jokic. If you think the stuff we talked about the Bucks is going to mean Middleton's going to get – he's 7'6", so like I envision a much more likely to fade on DK than FanDuel because he's 7'6" here. Right. Like if he gets 41 DK points, are you upset in tournaments that you faded him? I don't think so. Like, I don't think that kills you at 74%. Like, you got to hit the other guys, obviously, but I don't think that kills you. So that's some stuff I'd be doing.
Okay, excellent. Let's get into a few more of these QQs here. We'll go to It's Tyler Jackson, DK Cash question for you. Means Conley and Zeller. I don't think we talked about Conley. Conley and Zeller or Murray and Pat Con?
I would do the first one for sure.
Okay. JMVP, DK Cash, Mitchell and Connaughton or Bridges Conley?
I slightly lean the Bridges Conley one.
Okay. Yappy says, would it be okay in a GPP to stack Bridges and PJ together?
Excuse me. I'm a little uncertain on that, but that is actually a good. Can I pop off for an RG tool real quick?
Absolutely. Which RG tool you should? I just spat.
Yeah, I'm going to share screen it.
Yeah, let's do it.
The correlation tool we have, and it's been updated recently. So let's just look. We got time. I'm going to use the time to look at the correlation tool.
I think that is a good move. This is a premium tool, correct?
It is a premium tool, and it better be. And I might have to search it. I don't know. D-Train. Do you mind finding that for me? I don't know if we have it up. Oh, it's in the free. I just scrolled by it. Okay. Oh, it's not. It's not premium. Okay, but still worth it. So let's look at Charlotte here. So we got Washington, and then you have who do you say? Miles Bridges.
Yeah, it was Bridges and PJ.
So they slightly negative correlate, but I mean, probably a little less interested I'm less willing to like trust that on a 3-game slate. Like you're only going to find so many options that are going to positively correlate anyways. And basketball in general it means less in basketball than other sports for DFS. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So I guess to answer Yappy's question, I would strictly because I like the game stack and I don't think people are really going to play Washington. I want to see what people are doing with Washington. We got him at 14 and we got Miles at 29. So yeah, I think you can do it because I just don't think many people will. And I like the game stack. So yeah, roll with it.
Okay, excellent. Let's see. Mr. TJ Roto says on Yahoo, 10 lineups. How many Trey? How many Jokic? We didn't talk about Yahoo, but I don't know what the price is over there.
Yeah, I'll pop it up real quick on Lineup HQ. How many 10 lineups? How many Trey? How many Jokic? I tagged Trey on Yahoo actually, just because point guard is a little void of options, and he's only $43. And compared that to Jokic, who's 44, I mean, we have them basically right there, and I like then the positional scarcity at point guard makes me like him a little bit. So to answer the guy's question, I would probably have Trey and like 6 of them, and I would probably want to be on Jokic at 35%. I'd probably want to be over that, so I will say 6. I would want them in at least 6 lineups. Not saying that's combined, but I would probably want to be over on Jokic and over on Trey tonight.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to Android. FanDuel GPP question for you. Graham Middleton.
Is that he's saying would pick one?
I'm guessing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Graham 6-1 and Middleton 7. I mean, that's tough because if you have the funds, like I guess I need to know what the rest of the lineup looks like or what the other like 2v2, 3v3 is looking at, because it's just such a glaring difference in projection that if you have the funds, I just can't envision going away from Middleton in that scenario.
Yeah. Gray Bros says, hey, I thought you were starting at 6. I missed the FanDuel portion. Because it's on YouTube, you can rewind. Someone mentioned.
Should I give a Cliff Notes version or no?
I think, well, he had a direct question that we can get to. He says, is it crazy to have Lowry, Siakam, and Ibaka in the same team on FanDuel Cash? And
I don't think it is, no. Yes, I'm pretty almost positive. They played last night too. So I thought, so they're also in altitude on the second night of a back-to-back, but they're also down 2 main rotation guys. So they're only 6-point dogs. So all of these games are basically like same totals and same, you can see here, like, look at this, basically same spreads and same totals. So you can kind of throw any blowout risk out the window unless you know more than Vegas does. So I landed on a build that I really like with those 3 guys. I would not be opposed to playing it. It's a 3-game slate. Like, there's just certain times you got to be fine with it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. This is Raymond with a FanDuel GPP, which reminds me, we've got the FanDuel single entry series. I don't know if it's full or not, but it's $25. Guy won last week's, like a crunch time guy who hangs out with us. He won last week's one. It's Utah Bogdanovich or Bridges.
I'll assume that's a cash question. I saw Leland Bridges. That's what I said when I did the run through too. Yeah. They're kind of close if you look at our projections, but yeah, I kind of like Bridges.
It's interesting that you assume that was a cash question because I said FanDuel GPP, Utah Bogdanovich or Bridges.
Interesting. I chose not to hear that.
I might not have read it. I might have skipped over it. I don't know.
Well, in that, then I'm definitely going Bogdanovich. Ceilings are the same, and the projected ownership is vastly lower for Utah Bogdanovich. So if that was a GPP question, which I think it might have been, I'm going to go Utah Bogdanovich.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go to KM, DK Cash for you. Graham Bridges or Mitchell Martin? And remember, we've got multiple Martins. So
it's the first one for me either way.
Okay, no Martins. Ailes in a FanDuel GPP Milwaukee-Denver game stack. Who do you want at center? Brolo, Jokic, or Plum Dog?
Okay, so if you're playing huge in one of the big boys tonight, let's look at Plumlee's projected ownership because that's another good point we can bring up. So he's at 4%. You're obviously not playing Plumlee and Jokic together, in my opinion. That's one of the things where if that game blows out, like they do kind of consider him one of their main pieces. So like he doesn't always get ownership. And trust me, that's no Duke bias here either. That's poor decision making. But yeah, if those minutes climb up, I mean, and he also, if the more of those minutes climb up, the higher the ceiling projection would get. But he's going to be the guy who would benefit if Jokic doesn't play the fourth. Plumlee's going to play the first, 6-8 minutes of that or whatever. And that's a perfect leverage play to get off of Jokic ownership. So
big field.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Big field. I would do that. I wouldn't do that if you're in a single entry, but then if I'm thinking that's going to be the game flow tonight, do I want to play Brolo? I would probably just do Plumlee if that's in a big GPP. If not, and you're like single entering, I kind of lean Jokic and fade Brolo and fade Plumlee.
Okay, great. Let's go to Chris came in my pants, DKGPP, Siakam Herter or Collins Conley?
Siakam Herter. I would go the first one.
All right, we've got 9 or so minutes left until lock. More QQs coming. This is from Alex Andrew, says FanDuel GPP, Murray Lopez or Lowry Zeller?
I'm going to lean on ownership on that one because those are both good. I think those will be like cash type builds, so I think they'll both be popular. So let me look at what ownership's telling us here. Got Lowry at 40. And the other one was the Murray build, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I do the Murray build too, and it's also, it's you got to, since it's a tournament, I'd go Murray Brolo. That's also Nuggets Bucks correlation, so I do that one.
Okay, now Weeble has the same question only with FanDuel Cash. So Murray Brolo or Lowry Zeller FanDuel Cash.
I'm leaning the Murray Brolo one and that one also. That's just I prefer that side of it. I think there's just a little more certainty with Brolo, and I think there's like a little bit of hidden upside with him too. So I just slightly prefer that one. I wouldn't argue either, though. They're both really, really like optimal type builds.
Gotcha. Okay. Just the Illis says, last piece in cash, Wes Matthews or Connaughton?
That is a DK question. So let's look at what we got here. You rely on our projections on this one. Which also, by the way, if you're a premium, you get all these awesome projections.
That is
but
true.
this handsome fellow right down here, I don't know if it's popping up in the share screen, but this handsome fellow right there helps a little bit. So
I'm not sure which of the five of you you're pointing at, but I assume it was yourself.
No, it's no, of course. I'll lean on our projections on this one. I'll go Connaughton.
All right. Kinnick, DK Cash, Zeller and Donovan Mitchell, or Bogdanovich and Rozier?
I pretty strongly to the first one on that one.
All right. EJG, DK Cash is a 3v3. Bridges, Washington, Conley, or Mitchell, Millsap, Cody Martin?
Kind of lean the first one.
Akimbro, DK Cash, Millsap, or Zeller?
I go Zeller on that one.
Flores Mark says, out of the 3 games, which 2 would you rather stack? It's kind of a loaded question because I feel like, do you mean stack them to be sneaky or stack the best ones? I don't know.
I'll go the first. Since I kind of took a stand on that earlier, I'll go with the first one for sure. Because I think I do like that one anyways, and I think it'll be sneaky based on what ownership said. So I'll go with that one for sure. And then I guess I'll go with the Raptors Jazz one then next, because I think that'll be, especially on DK, like that'll be the least popular of the other 2 left. So yeah, I'll go with that one.
Okay, sneaky. R. Meyer, DK GPP. Will Frank Mason get any minutes?
I'm pretty sure we are expecting him up, and we have him in the rotate. We have him at 5 minutes because I haven't been able to check Twitter since the show started, so I haven't seen if there's any update on that. But we're expecting him with the team, and we're expecting a small role. So I don't know. You would think maybe they could give him some backup point guard minutes if they want. So we're expecting him to, but not meaningful. So
okay, so wouldn't play him.
I would take a shot with him in the big tournament. If you're making a handful of lineups in like the very biggest tournament, I would absolutely take a shot because he's pretty decent per minute and he's 3K.
Okay.
Oh, and also if that game blows out, he will play a lot.
Okay. We'll go to Deeds, DK Cash, Zeller, Conley, or Clarkson, Bojan?
I would go the first one.
Time to win it. FanDuel Cash is a 2v2v2. Lowry Hunter, Murray Barton, or Rozier Bridges?
I prefer take out the first one. I slightly prefer the middle one, that Murray one, but the one that was right next to it for me was that other one he mentioned. So I like the second 2, but I'll go with that middle one.
Okay, great. Mickley Page in all caps yells, all caps and no punctuation yells, Bridges, Clarkson, Rozier, Connaughton. That's how it looks to me.
Can you say it slower? Pretend it's not in caps.
Okay, yeah.
And pretend there's punctuation.
Okay, so 2v2. Bridges and Clarkson versus Rozier and Connaughton.
I would go the first one.
Okay. Did that one? I think we did that one. Achilles, DK Cash, Connaughton. This is a 3v3.
Mm-hmm.
Connaughton, Bojan, Jokic, or Cody Martin, Collins, Brolo?
I like the first one better.
B. Daly, this isn't your cup of tea. This would be an interesting JSU question, but I shall ask you anyways. Can you stack every game in a DK GPP? It's only a 3-game slate. Is everyone stacking every game?
I mean, if you have 150 lineups, you can do whatever the heck you want. Then and by the way, no one loses if you play 150 lineups. I don't know if you knew that.
It's true. Kidding. I've seen that on Twitter. You can't lose. You do that.
Don't quote me on that as a joke. I mean, I assume for the people who are, MMEing, they're for sure going to do that. If you're like now, let's first thing like your JSU and what does he usually do? Like 3 to 5 lineups, right? 2, yeah. Okay. So he's probably not doing that, would be my guess. He's probably doing that with at least one of them and picking the one he wants. So if you're just doing, like, let's say you're making 3 lineups, are you just going to stack each game, like I would not do that now.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, he does 2 to 3 for each site,
Yeah.
I should say. Salty Dog, FanDuel Cash, last piece, Hunter or Reddish?
That is a good question. I'm going to rely on our projections on that one. We got Hunter slightly above because I believe we have or they confirmed that Reddish is coming off the bench, and I think that is why, because of the minutes. So just let me double check. But yeah, you can ask another question. I'm going Hunter on that one.
Okay. Nape, do you like 3 Hawks in a large field DKGPP?
Absolutely.
Okay. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to put you in lightning round because we actually have a lot of questions. I didn't expect that, but are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Straw, DK Cash, Rozier, Reddish, or Zeller Graham?
Zeller Graham.
Chili Mac, last piece, Yahoo Cash, Lopez, Barton, or Bogdanovich?
I'll go Barton.
DKGPP, last piece, Grant, Clarkson, Dedman. I only got 43 left in the util.
Grant, Clarkson.
Oh, O'Neal, he also mentioned. Grant, Clarkson, Dedman, or O'Neal?
I would go Dedman.
GWB says, I just started looking at smash percentage on Lineup HQ. How close are those percentages to hitting? I don't know the answer to that.
If Jamino is watching, he can chime in on that. I don't know the exact formula behind it.
It is a cool tool, though.
And this is lightning round, so I can't elaborate.
Yeah, sorry.
Saved by lightning round.
It is a cool tool that you only get on Lineup HQ, though, so check it out. We got 2 minutes for this lightning round. Reddish or Cody Martin, last piece?
Cody Martin.
Straight up from Sanjeet. Straight up, higher fantasy points. Jokic or Middleton? I got to select one. Who do I go?
I mean, you got to go Jokic.
Okay. Akimbro, DK Cash, Brolo Collins, or Joker Zeller?
I would go the second one.
Shrek says, you okay with Dedman and DK Cash?
That's the last piece, but I like those other centers a little bit more. There might be a little opportunity cost there. Sorry.
It's okay. Schultz says, DKGPP, if you talked about Utah has been bad lately on defense, what about a 4-man wrap stack? Lowry, Siakam, Powell, Ibaka.
I would try to keep it to 3 at most.
Okay. That is a very JSU-ian thing of you to say. Joey Rock, FanDuel GPP, Reddish or Hunter?
I would do, since we said Hunter Cash, I'll go Reddish tournament.
All right. Yahoo Cash, John Collins and Monte Morris, or Siakam, Gary Harris?
First one.
Ilyasova or Pat Connaughton?
Connaughton.
How many Codys are too many Codys?
Oh, yeah, we got Zeller and Martin.
Yeah.
So 3, because I don't think there are 3.
So, okay. All right. 3 are too many. Bushia, Conley, okay, and FanDuel Cash. A lot of people are bringing up Conley.
I didn't personally land there. If there's a build you like, I'm fine with it. Maybe that's like a Jokic build at center. So I'd be fine with it if that's where you land. I personally didn't.
Okay. Weeble, FanDuel Cash, Murray or Rozier?
Oh, man, if you have the money, just go with the Murray. That's what I'm doing.
Don Carlo, great name. Murray, Zeller, or Rozier and B. Lopez?
I would do the Lopez one.
Okay, that it's just about our last question here. Means excellently done, sir.
We crushed himself, Roth. You did. I appreciate the compliment. And I thought you did a really good job too.
You don't have.
You were handling. You were handling. We had a lot of stuff going on. We had extra time.
We did.
You dropped the lightning round on me.
Yeah, you don't have to turn the compliment around. It's okay. I appreciate it.
And I know you don't like when I do that because you think I'm being facetious and like snarky, but I actually do mean it. You like crush the hosting duties on this show.
That is too kind. Hey, everybody who is at home watching, for those of you who always hang out with us, thanks. Good to see you again. For those of you who are new watching us on YouTube, if you join RotoGrinders Premium, you get this show every single day. Towards the end of the month, we do this show with basketball and baseball.
Oh, God.
We have Meansy and we have Cheese, and it's just pure chaos, and it's so much fun. Cheese
hit me and Roth up with a screenshot of our calendar for the end of March, and I forgot we did that last year, and it was so freaking fun.
Yeah,
when we did that, because it was just like it was just madness, because like end of season NBA is madness anyways. But then you bring in a different sport, you bring in Cheese. when he went first that one show, and then he was drawing all these. He had all these pictures drawn. So when it was my turn, he's holding pictures up to the camera of he scribbled what James Harden looks like.
Yeah,
and then I was saying all these names
about basketball.
Yeah, I was saying all these names that half the people don't even know at that point of the NBA season. And he was like holding up signs like, "Who is that guy?" And I couldn't even finish my analysis.
Yeah, it's a good time. So now's a good time to join up for premium. Jay says, is it 45 minutes going forward, i.e. baseball crunch time? I don't think so. This was because there was no Grinders live ahead of us. So I think the answer to that is no. I personally think the 30-minute show is good. Crunch time should be a little frenzied, but I don't know, and it is not my call. So we'll see. Let's see. We'll take a few more questions. We do have to get out of here a little early because Devin has a golf show coming up. I can't believe they're still having a golf tournament this weekend because of the coronavirus. Don't touch your face and wash your hands, everyone. That's just a little advice. And do your grocery shopping. Means, do you do your grocery shopping yet?
We're going to put together a little emergency. We call it the Kevin Roth emergency list tonight. I'm going to go get some stuff tomorrow.
Okay. It might be too late, but I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.
Too late. There he is.
Let's see. A few more QQs here. Good for Tatum. Good for Tatum. Yeah. FanDuel GPP, Rozier and Lopez or Lowry Zeller?
Well, we will assess that after the fact since some of that is already locked, but I want to look again at projected ownership on that one.
Okay.
So Lowry looks to be the higher owned. So what was it? Lowry and Zeller, and then Rozier and Brolo. Was that right?
It was Rozier, Lopez, or Lowry Zeller.
Yeah, I like the Rozier to Lopez one better for tournaments.
Okay. Sneaky or stupid from Griffin. In a GPP, I played Graham and Rozier together to try to get some leverage.
I don't love them together. And they're kind of especially on DK, they're priced up a little, or at least Rozier is, so I don't love them together.
Okay. New York Jets with maybe the most important question of the night here. Meansy, what is in store for you with MLB this year? Are you doing stacking articles, pitcher breakdown? What can we expect going forward?
That is a great question because I have not been alerted of my duties. I'm assuming I have duties. So I don't know. Last year I did the premium. Grinder. Yeah, no, that was 2 years. That was that got 86 last year because it kind of was redundant on how good Cheese does with his pitching stuff. It's why have someone else write when the best person in the business writes the greatest breakdown ever of pitching?
I do get it. Yeah.
So I do get it. Although a lot of people were sad to see it go. Maybe just because I'm so funny. Maybe that was why it had nothing to do with pitching. No. Okay. So last year I did the premium on deck pod twice a week. I did the Core Stacks article. I don't know, average 2 to 3 times a week. We've rotated every other week. So yeah, I did that and some, survey and consensus value rankings. So.
Okay. Well, the people are calling for you to be on MLB Crunch Time as well. So maybe that will be part of your duties. Who knows?
That's just dumb. We have Cheese and Cardi, and Grant hops on there too. Why would they even want me on there?
I mean, because
again, it must be my humor.
I guess that must be it. Yeah. Let's see. Straw with kind of an elaborate, but maybe accurate take there. I think it's time to get out of here. We've got Devin's got to set up for golf. I need to go wash my hands 19 more times.
Jesus.
And I recommend everyone at home does the same. So say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people. Thanks for joining us. Everyone new. Hope we see you tomorrow. And for the people we always see during the week, we will also see you tomorrow.
That is well said, guys. We appreciate you. We love you. We will indeed catch you tomorrow. It will not be Quiet Storm, full-on version. We appreciate you. We love you. You have been crunched.